Now, the federal government has received significant funding from the World Bank worth $2.25 billion. Now, the international lender announced the approval of two significant financial operations aimed at bolstering Nigeria's economic stability and supporting its vulnerable population. According to the statement from the bank on Thursday, the combined package totaling $2.25 billion comprises the $1.5 billion Nigeria Reforms for Economic Stabilization to Enable Transformation Development Policy Financing Program and the $750 million Nigeria Accelerated Resource Mobilization Reform Programs for results. This financial infusion is intended to provide immediate financial and technical support for Nigeria's urgent economic stabilization efforts. It also aims to enhance the country's non-oil revenue generation and safeguard oil revenues, thereby promoting fiscal sustainability and enabling the delivery of quality public service. And the leader of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, says the upper legislative chamber initiated 477 bills since it was inaugurated 1 year ago. In a statement to mark the first anniversary of the 10th Senate, Bamidele said that the Red Chamber had successfully passed 25 bills in the period under review and went on to explain some interventions that may have helped or hindered the legislative process in the year under review. Arise News analyst Dayo Shobowale joins us to have a quick chat. Now, I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic Friday, by the way. So the Senate are praising themselves.
Right.
And they've said that the year under review, that they've been able to pass into law 25 bills. And they went on to say 447 is the number.
And the pipeline.
So you look at that.
Right.
Just appraising it holistically. Is that good enough?
Well, that is what is called chest beating. And it's in order. It's not only the Senate, even the
House of Reps.
The House of Reps.
Yeah.
You know, for them on television, they were chanting TJ, praising the speaker and all that. Yes, they are welcome to all that. In a year, they have fulfilled their functions and their legislative obligations to the society. But you see, I read somewhere that a civil liberty organization, a coalition, was praising them. You see, they have a right to praise themselves. And this is a system of checks and balances. And anyway, we are celebrating 25 years of democracy and Democracy Day. So the mood is apt. But let us look at the other side of the coin. In Abubakar Atiku's message on Democracy Day, he highlighted the champions of democracy mentioned by the president. And then he went on to say to him, it's a day of doom for the nation. And that unless and until the opposition forces team up with the civil liberties organizations and the opposition forces prescribe and put on the ground the tenets of good governance, that literally the government, the Nigerian democracy will be under the yoke of the APC, as he put it. So let's look at it from that perspective. That is his own viewpoint, and he's entitled to it. But what does it mean? You see, he used the word there, that unless the political class, I've always used that word, and I've been warned, several times. Because my theory is that we were under the yoke of colonialism. Then we got independence. Then we got under the yoke of the political class. First the military class during military, and now the yoke of the political. Politicians don't like that. But Atiku mentioned it. Do you get it now? He said the political class and the civil liberties organization. So in the first instance, if you see the civil liberties pressing legislators, that's a strange coalition. Do you get me now? But invariably, they are always critical of government something. What is a welcome development? It means that you don't have to be a daggers drawn all the time, that you can do constructive criticism. So that's my take on it. And you see, saying that you have passed bills, bills should be made into laws. How many bills were assented to, or rather, if the bill started from the House of Representatives, it should go, it has to be confirmed by Senate, and then put into law by the President. How many such bills are manifested? You don't judge performance by the number of bills, but by the number of legislation that you put into place to help society. You should know how many of such that they have done. That's the issue. I know they have intervened critically on issues of public welfare. For example, when Electricity Regulation Commission raised the fares, for light, the tariffs, they came in, they have always done that. But then, you see, that is injurious to the power industry. Because they are supposed to, the discourse are supposed to that cost-reflective tariffs. But if they don't charge it, they can't make it, and you can't have light. But they won't sit there and see tariffs go up because their constituents will be after them. You get me? So in a way, they are doing their system of checks and balances, but it's not yet you get me? For them to be acclaiming themselves. They have a long way to go. And you see, I read somewhere that the enthusiasm in the House of Representatives is because about 70% of them are new. So you get me? So they want to make a name. So they are busy making bills. But it's not a matter of making bills. Let it pass the first or the second reading. Let it get to the president's desk and become law. That is their first function.
All right.
And I wish them well at it.
Okay, you touched on what I would probably describe as my second question to you.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I'm just looking at it based on statistics from the number that we're looking at, talking about 25. It comes down to 5.24 in terms of the amount of the number of bills that actually passed, right from the 447 bills introduced to the floor of the House or the Senate, as the case may be now. Now, looking at it closely, because it is one thing to say, oh, we've passed 25 bills, so to speak.
And that's what I was saying.
Yeah, no, my question, no, I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. It's another thing for people to say, oh, these bills, because remember, the Senate is supposed to represent the people. To the people.
And the House of Reps too.
Yes. No, because the National Assembly,
yes.
You permit me to use the word National Assembly, are meant to represent the people because they are drawn from the people to legislate on behalf of the people. But more and more, we begin to see the gulf and the divide that puts the political class and the ordinary Nigerians. Because the question is this: have they done enough to reflect the pains, the groaning, the yearnings of the people in a time like this? Because it is one thing to pass bills into law that probably does not reflect directly or help alleviate the situation of the average Nigerian.
What's the question?
So my question is, have they done enough?
Okay. That's a relative question. That means it's relative. They, in their wisdom, feel they have done enough. That is why they are celebrating. That means, as to the question mark you put on whether they represent the people, they represent the Nigerian people. They were elected, not you and me. They were elected. Whether they live up to our expectation is a different kettle of fish. You will get the difference? Mm-hmm. Whether they live up to her. But they think they are. But what I've pointed out is part of the fear you are expressing to. That they seem to have separated the political class. Or, yes, I won't even call them elites. You get me? There is a political class all over the country. If you don't belong to a political party, you can't contest, you can't get elected.
In Nigeria, some people say it's a travesty because you do not have to belong to any political party.
Let me talk.
Yes.
You see now, look at the cost of wanting to be a president. You have to buy a phone for 100 million. How many people have that?
True.
How many decent, honest people have that? You see, there is a political class. And I'm happy, what I'm trying to say is that for once, one of them admitted it. That was what the article said. That it is the duty of the political class and the civil liberties organization to monitor our democracy. And they have not done it well. And that until and unless, you listen to that, and until and unless, you get me, they come together, you get me, and form and put governance plan, workable governance plan on the ground, you will not have a good democracy. Obviously, it doesn't accept our democracy as it is under the present APC, which is natural for him. You get me? But you see, what I'm trying to point out is that the political class should not be looking after its own interests to the detriment of the rest of us. Okay, you look at a simple example. Simple example. When Labour went on strike, when they were talking about this horrendous minimum wage, 500 to 60, which they can never come to terms with, the people sent to intervene were the senators. And I said it here. It is provocative to send senators who, I mean, it is in the public domain that they earn about 40 million or thereabout per month, to be persuading people who want to earn 500,000 a month. This is like a travesty of justice. You get me? But that is the nature of our own democracy. If you vote tomorrow, the same set of people will be voted in. You get me? That is our political culture. You get me? And what Atiku has done, that is constructive criticism. That they have to put, the opposition, to have to put a credible plan in place. And they should work with the civil liberties organization. My own fear is that the civil liberties organization should get so carried away that they are in league with the political class at the end of the day. They will be in real soup.
All right.
Yes.